3 matches of the season. Starting to get cooler outside. Today was a little warm, but you kind of get the feel like playoffs are around the corner. All the games that you see across the league, they're all like the meaningfulness of each game becomes clearer and clearer as it relates to the table. So it's kind of that exciting part of the year. It's been a weird part though, because it's been stop start since Leagues Cup. And then we had an international break. Then we kind of a bye this weekend, and then we're coming upon another international break. So it's been challenging, but the group's been great and trying to just keep guys like in a rhythm and keep form and keep the things that we want going. But I think everyone's looking forward to just getting started again, and getting this week going and trying to win the West and position ourselves for the playoffs.
You guys can probably win the West, I guess, Wednesday or for sure by Saturday. I would assume the numbers.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely this week. It could be really clear. You got to get.
What does that mean to this
for
group?
us?
What you guys went through last year and where you guys are now?
Yeah, I think. I mean, all of us that were here last year, we embraced and understood how much last year sucked and how difficult and challenging it was on many different levels. And you can talk about it when you're going through it. But I think if you talk to anyone who was here, was down around the locker room and around the team, we knew we were on the right path, and that the group stayed together last year during all the challenges, and we knew that we stayed the course in terms of what our longer term direction was. And we trusted and believed in our style of play and the things that we wanted to do. And you go into the off season, you get some things right, and you get the right guys, and you kind of get that emotion of what was a terrible feeling for that season behind you. The whole beginning of this year just had a different energy and a different emotion from day one, and the guys have been able to capitalize on that and get results. And when you get results, everything sort of starts to build and snowball. And the group has been excellent that way. The support has been great around the club. Fans everywhere has been great. And anytime we've had a tough day, or because you're not going to win every game in this league, we've bounced back right away on the next one, and we've been able to get momentum back on our side. So whenever we've had one of those moments, we've always answered the bell. And so that's it. And now we're in a position to win the West. We stay focused on Colorado, which is the next game. It's the only thing we can kind of control in our immediate future, and then one game at a time, and then we're doing one game at a time as we go through the playoffs as well. And I think that's been key for this group.
To follow up on Damien's question, like you win in Colorado and you get maybe a point with Austin, you start doing the math. But if you guys just went out, no one can catch you. Is that kind of the focus for the team? Don't worry about don't do the math. Just win every game.
Yeah, I think it's to play every play. We'll start there, because play every play, execute our game plan, execute on the moment in the game. Again, defend together as a group. It's a difficult place to play in Colorado. They're a good team as well. They've had a great season also. So sometimes with our group, when you just go win the game, then we get a little bit ambitious. We start to really try to win the game right at the beginning. I think for us is to really stay focused that each game is its own process, and you have to give the attention to detail in every second of the game to commit to the complete process that the game is. The goal is always to win the game. So we understand if we are able to win out, then we're in. We win the West. We don't need anybody's help. Okay, but for us is because it's also about finding your best form and really understanding how you're going to get results as you get to the playoffs. And these 3 games are your final tune-up for that as well. And so it's winning, and it's trying to perform in a nice, steady way to be ready for what's to come.
Everybody healthy?
For the most part. Marco is on the field and he's doing work. He won't be available for Wednesday. I think everybody else is. Martin's out there. Everybody else is out training and ready to go.
So this is probably the healthiest you've been in months.
Yeah, it's really, we're close. I mean, I feel like we've kind of always had 1 or 2 guys, but we've always kind of been able to limit it to that. So yeah, we're healthy, and Marco's situation is nothing big. I mean, he might be available by the weekend. So right now, goal is to try to stay healthy, perform, get results, and be ready to go when bell rings and playoffs start.
One more for me. The trip to Colorado, people talk about all the time. Well, you need to get there in less than 24 hours. obviously you're part of that school of thought, and the schedule tells you can't go
Sure.
there for a week.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
So is the altitude something people worry about? Something that we talk about and you guys just ignore? Or how do you deal with the altitude?
I mean, it's a thing. I think it's we're talking about like our players are at this point in the season. Most of them are in elite fitness levels. When you're at a high level of fitness, the altitude does less to you than if you're at a low level of fitness. So I can speak as somebody who played for Colorado Rapids, and I went into preseason where you would say you're less than fit, and my brain and my feet were on completely different books. You know, not even pages, just books, and I couldn't complete a pass. But the more I was able to get fit, and I think that's common with others, the more fitness you have, the more you are where you need to be, the less impact it has. But it's real. And the other thing is you got to be really efficient. You don't want to do unnecessary running, unnecessary sprinting. If the more efficient you can be in your performance as a collective group, the better also it is in managing the situation. But I think everybody's kind of at that stage where they can work through it, they can power through, and need to not make such a big deal about it, but just need to work through and understand there might be moments in the game where you suffer a little bit, but you can get through it. You know, the other things are the ball travels a little faster, the ball travels a little farther. It's things like that that are inside the game that you gotta read situations that you might think. For example, the goalkeeper goes and hits a ball. This thing is going almost to the other box where it might land just on the other side of the circle because it really carries. So these are other things you just have to be mindful of. Or if you're going to strike a ball out to your teammate, it's going to carry a little longer. So don't hit it into the first row. Try to manage the distance. So those are little things that impact, some of the game as well.
When you talked about you guys always been able to bounce back from a bad day, when you look at this group, with you brought in Peck, Joseph, new guy to the U.S. to the league, who sort of drives that fire? Is it Maya on the back line? The veterans you have on the back line? Is it McCarthy, or who sort of drives that?
The bounce back?
Yeah, that focus of, hey, we had a bad day, we got to get back on track here.
I think a little bit of everyone, and I Ricky's personality is get on with it and get to the next one, and he's always he's up for the next play to go score a goal or create. He's up for the next game to go score a goal. I think the group, part of it is you just really kind of understand who you are and what makes you successful. And we've been good at two things. If we've had a bad first half, we've had a good second half usually. I think our goals, our plus minus might be like minus 2 or 3 in the first half, but we're like plus 19 or 20 in the second half. So we've been able to identify what the game is going to look like, what adjustments need to be made, and guys step out and are really getting it done, especially in the second half of games. And so it's the same thing when you look at a game previously and you go, we didn't play well for these reasons. We need to clean these things up. And we've done a good job of, I think, doing that and going from one game to the next. So I think this group has been really, really good in that way. And I think it's driven from a group that's hungry. I think the group, they enjoy each other. And they're very clear on clear on the identity and what it is that we want to do. We're not mistake free. We still have things that we need to clean up, but at the same time, I think there's clarity in really important parts of the game for us.
That's right.
Hey, Greg. The fans are super excited that they're in first place. What message do you send out to them, with the last home game coming up and the playoffs?
Yeah, I think, as I said a few minutes ago, us being in first place is a product of our whole environment, and our whole environment is everything that happens here on a day-to-day basis, but also the support that we get from our fan base, from everywhere around, especially in our stadium. I mean, we've had an incredible run in our stadium this year, unbeaten in our stadium, and that's a product to the environment that's created when it's positive and when the energy's high. Our guys want to run, they want to compete, they want to fight, they want to attack, and so they feed off of that energy. And so I think the fans should feel proud for themselves as well as the group, and vice versa, because it's a community, right? The team is a community, and results are a part of that community as well. So we're very grateful for their support. We're looking forward to doing it one more time in the regular season, and hopefully whatever it is, 5 more times or 6 more times, whatever it takes in the playoffs, hopefully.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. Yep, appreciate it.